Sony announced a couple devices a while back. They announced 2 new headsets, a pair of truly wireless earbuds, and an over-the-ear headset. And then they also announced this thing that they at the time called Project Q, that now has an official name. It is now called the PlayStation Portal. Not to be confused with the PlayStation Portable, even though it sounds alike, actually. So this caught a lot of people's attention because obviously, like, people are familiar with Sony's previous handheld attempts, the PlayStation Vita, the PlayStation Portable, and they thought that this kind of fit into that. But Sony kind of right away said that this is meant to be a companion device for the PlayStation. Its primary goal is remote play, to give people a dedicated device to remote play with. And I remember even back then, I just heard that and it was like, this is weird. This is really weird. Sony nailed down some more details of it, including its price, which is $199.99, which if that sounds familiar, it is also the price of the Nintendo Switch Lite, but other details as well as details with the 2 headsets that they're releasing as well. So once again, the PlayStation Portal is strictly a remote play device. It uses Wi-Fi in order to do this. Essentially, the design of it looks like a DualSense controller with a screen in the middle. The screen is an 8-inch screen, and if I know anything about Sony and their displays, they're really good at that. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form worried that that's going to look bad. The controller part of it has all the haptics that you expect from the the DualSense. So the controller has 3D vibration. The triggers are adaptive, so they can change their intensity with different things. But that's kind of like where it stops. And as I learned more about this device, I became confused as to why this exists. So Wi-Fi only. Can't store anything. It doesn't have its own storage. You don't play any games locally on it. It's all remote play. Doesn't have Bluetooth, which is very strange. It has a 3.5 millimeter jack, so you can plug in wired headphones into it, but it doesn't support Bluetooth at all. If you want to use wireless audio in any way, it has to be something that has what they're calling PlayStation Link technology, right? And that's where the 2 headsets come in. And to its credit, the PlayStation Link tech is impressive sounding. Kind of makes me think of Apple and their H1 technology and H2 now with their newer headphones, but essentially like quick pairing and stuff like that, lossless audio and all those things. So those things are going to be a part of the Pulse Elite wireless headset, the Pulse Explore wireless earbuds. But if you want wireless audio or wireless headset compatibility with the PlayStation Portal, you have to use those. Yes, it is very weird that this doesn't have Bluetooth. It's very strange. Another thing about the PlayStation Portal, actually, that might be it. Because like I said, it doesn't do anything else aside from be remote play. And as I thought more about this, right? As I thought more about this, I don't think this is a bad product. I just think that Sony should not be the company making it. If Microsoft were making something like this, I would think it's a perfect idea. But Sony making it, it's very strange. And I'll explain why. The easiest way looks like a half-ass attempt at a PlayStation Switch. And yeah, so here's kind of what my thought process is. The reason I say that I think Microsoft would be better suited for a device like this is kind of Microsoft versus Sony's kind of ideologies about how their platforms work. Microsoft treats everything as the platform, if that makes sense. Xbox, Game Pass, and cloud all exist as a singular platform, which allows them to very easily put that platform on other things, which is why you can download, well, if you have a phone that can download the Game Pass app, you can download the Game Pass app, you can start playing a game on there using xCloud, and then pick up where you left off on your console or on PC. So for them to make a dedicated Game Pass device, for them to make a device that can tap into that, it makes perfect sense. They're kind of playing around with that idea of having like a dedicated, like, say, HDMI stick that you can plug into a TV and give you access to Game Pass using streaming, using xCloud. And I think that would work very well for them if they did. Sony, on the other hand, they're still very fragmented in how a lot of their services work. Yes, you can stream on PlayStation Plus. Yes, Sony has been doing streaming for a long time, actually before Xbox has, but they're nowhere near as combined as Microsoft is with all of their services. So something like this, which I think works well in the day and age where people kind of want to be able to play games and like have a huge library of them and just be able to open them up at will and not want to use their phone for it, because these sort of things do lower your battery power a lot. Sony can't do. Even using remote play on my PC, if I started a game on remote play, I typically have to start over. The cloud doesn't support game saves as well as it does on Xbox, and I don't want to play a game on a different device and then have to start over because my save doesn't move. Right? And that's kind of where I am with here. Like if this device had the capabilities of being able to play games on PlayStation Plus, so being able to stream the massive library of games that they have, then this would make perfect sense. Being able to even stream PS5 games without needing a console in order to do it, but this $200 device would be a steal. But you need a PS5 for this, because anything that you play, the PS5 is going to send to this device. So on the same network, that'll probably work fine. But when you start moving further away and when you're on different networks outside of the home, this is going to start getting very hard to use. If we could stream games on PlayStation Network directly from their servers, that removes a bump, but that's not something that Sony's able to do just yet. The fact that this is an accessory for the PlayStation 5, not an accessory for the PlayStation platform, if that makes sense, is what drives this device, as well designed as it may be, as capable as it may be in doing the thing that it's supposed to do, drives that device to be kind of worthless to me. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And if that is something that's coming down the pipeline, because I know Sony is working on getting their cloud infrastructure prepared to be able to stream PS5 games, because PS5 games are larger and it's supposed to like improve latency and all that stuff. If that's something that's coming down the pipeline where they are reworking their cloud infrastructure like that, why not wait for this to kind of be the poster boy for that change? And why release it now? Because I feel like this is, aside from the super faithful Sony enthusiasts out there, because I don't like saying the other word, super faithful Sony enthusiasts out there in the world who are just going to pick up anything with that PlayStation logo on it, this is going to be dead on the water. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. To me, at least, right?